Hey, tiny people, this is the main man here, the Chaotic Hill, for our first ever Chaotic Battle Report. Today, you're going to be looking at my Danian team go against a very hard hitting Marillion team. This is my older deck, so if you saw this deck a few weeks ago, you were in the House of Pain with the Chaotic Heel. In the back, we have Alexia, the Danian Queen, with support from Necrabe, Lore to deal out some instant damage, with our main attackers being Arabic and Draz. Now, I love playing against Danian decks, and I love playing not against Danian decks. I love playing against Marillion decks and playing as Marillion decks. As a little chaotic heal, the Underworlders were my favorite, but now as a bigger chaotic heal, the Marillions I have really come to like. So he's engaging my Draz. I infect my Draz to give him Earth 5, and I believe he gets initiative. He gets initiative because of his water. I'm checking his Grandmore for stats. Grandmore can hit like a truck. He is probably one of the best cards for Underworld and Marillions. He's just a great all rounder. So he's using Sleep Sting, which would deal 20 damage. I'm activating Hive, which activates my Sting Blade prototype, which will put the damage to 10. There's a Deluge of Doom for me that'll do 25 damage. The 5 extra comes from Draz's Earth 5 while he's infected. But yeah, so the Marillions hit really hard. This deck is also supported by his Chieftain, which deals an extra 5 damage with Wisdom attacks. There is Piercing Brilliance, a huge attack card for Wisdom decks like these, and I need to figure out if I'm healing or if I'm giving up this fight. My attack cards are really sucky right now. 2 Shadow Strikes, 1 Linquistent Swirl, not great attacks. The Shadow Strikes are challenged, deal 10 damage, and then Quiescent Squirrel does 10 damage, but I give up water. So I'm choosing to heal with Domestic Hive him. That'll heal me by 20 health. 10 normally, but an extra 10 if Hive is activated. A really good healing card right now in my Danian deck. So when you get to these kind of points in a match, or just a battle where creatures are getting low, you have to decide: are you going to commit, or are you going to try to knock them out the next go round? So here's Caustic Cascade, another really strong attack card, super strong water card. Highly recommend it for water decks. So I am doing Song of Symmetry, which heals me by 10 and deals 10 to him, which will put him at 25. I'm trying to get him into that 10 range for Liquisite Squirrel, or Lore can kill him with his instant damage. Lore can spend a music counter to do 10 damage to a creature and heal him by 10. But I'm worried about Carnivore's Keening, which is a generic music which heals a creature by 30 but gives you Recklessness 5. So I'm trying to pull that out of him. So here's my Linquistent Swirl. So I'm giving up water, and I'm doing a Lore effect to deal 10 damage with him. And here's a little bit of a slog. We're going to be doing a little bit of thinking, a little back and forth. The name of the game, sometimes in Chaotic, is making your opponent use up his resources. Now here, I think I used my resources too fast in this match. It is a tightrope. You have to find out how to make your opponent waste his resources, but not overplay yours. Because the Danians have some great damage music, but once that's gone, they can get a little squishy when they're fighting things like a Mepedian Invisibility, Underworld Burn, and Overworld Wisdom stats. So he's going to use a Geoflourish. That'll heal a creature with water or earth by 15 energy. And now I'm thinking what to do. Do I commit and try to knock him out? Because he doesn't have the music. So I can knock him out. There is no way he can heal right now. If it was a situation where he had another music counter, I probably would not have done what I'm doing. Because again, I would worry about Carnivore's Keening, because Carnivore Keening pretty much negates Lore. It can heal 30, and there I go. So I decide to knock out his Marillion. So first battle in this match goes to me, the greatest Danian player right now. So now he's going to figure out what to do, and I'm figuring out who to attack on my turn. If he doesn't move up, I have to go for a Grandmore, which sucks because those guys hit hard, but at least it'll be on my turf, on a one location I have. It's not going to be the Overworld Library where it increases his Wisdom stats. But overall, great team. The Grandmores hit really hard. That middle Marillion, which Ritzvac, something like that, adds to, I believe, discipline if you lose initiative, or maybe not. His Chieftain adds to some wisdom, outperforms, or they're not outperforms, but just a extra damage. His Fluid Morpher can help deal some damage back when you're on kind of the losing foot, and his Marillion at the very back gives element proof, which sucks because that'll give all of his creatures 20 extra health, which will come up. So now we're going back and forth in chat. This is a really good player to play against. I hope I play against him soon. Great location for me. Mount Pillar activates Hive automatically, so I don't have to use my last music counter on my Danian Queen. So I kind of have to attack with Arabic. The only bad thing about my Stingblade prototype is if Hive activates naturally, it kind of sucks. So I'm using an Arabic to go after him. He has the supercharged alternate, which gives him plus 100 and a stat. So of course he's going to do wisdom every time. So he is guaranteed to win every single wisdom check, every single wisdom challenge. You know, there's no way I could reduce that wisdom. I don't have really any cards that do. There's Piercing Brilliance. That's a really good attack card for him. It is, I'm checking. I believe I have one healing left and one damage healing. So I'm going to use Arabic to hopefully bring that damage down. There's a Purifying Mud that'll heal me and do quite a bit of damage to him. Did 20 damage actually. And now I'm checking. So I always bring in two Dispel Mujiks against Overworld and Underworld, mainly for Underworld. Underworld Burn really hurts my Danian deck, and I mean throws it to the cleaner, throws it into the turnbuckle. If I don't dispel it, this deck really struggles against Underworld Burn. But on the flip side, if I'm playing a like this Marillion deck who only can use generic Mujic, those Dispel Mujics are useless, so I'm essentially wasting a third of my Mujic slots to hopefully I play against an Underworld deck. So yeah, there we go. Mind Strike, a really great Wisdom attack card for him. Deals a tremendous amount of damage to me. It did 20, and he has, I believe, outperformed 5 on Grandmore. His Chieftain's doing an extra 5 damage. So it stacks hard. These Wisdom Marillion decks can really squish some high energy cards, you know? So let's see what's going on. My attack cards right now: Shadow Strike, which is useless because we have the same courage. Linquistent Swirl, which will do 20 damage because Arabic has Water 5, and Torrent Curse, which puts him to Water 10. So every time I do a water attack, it's 10 extra damage. There's Rust Toxic, a usually great card, but I'm not getting the Courage challenge. So it's not doing its full amount. I keep checking the log, seeing what's going on. But no, I wish my attack cards are better. Shadow Strike, it's a zero attack card for a reason. There's Burning Rain, and this is when I'm like, okay, I can win. I can win this battle. I was thinking this Arabic not down for the count, or he was down for the count. I'm sorry, I thought, but with the Burning Rain only doing 10 damage, there it is. There's a reason I keep going. If he did another Piercing Brilliance, I would have gave up the fight. Here's an Enlightened Tenacity. This card is not in my deck anymore because I can't boost it. The only card that boosted it was Draz with his Earth 5, but Arabic cannot boost it because it's an Earth attack. So it does do 20 damage, which is a lot, but I found better one cost water attacks that I used instead of Enlightened Tenacity. Enlightened Tenacity is a 2 cost attack. So replacing the 2 copies to add 4 pretty good 1 cost water attacks, I believe really made up for it. Now he's healing with Geo Flourish. This will heal him by 15. So really, he's only taking 5 damage from this. Now I only have to get him into the 30 range, or yeah, I believe 30, because Linquistent Swirl will do 20, and then my Song of Symmetry will do another 10. So really, I only need to survive to get him down to 10 more, which Shadow Strike won't work because of the challenge. But we'll see what happens. See, there's checking to see what Mujics I have left. My Song of Symmetry, which will heal Arabic by 10 and deal 10 to his Grandmore. But again, I just have to get him down to 30, and then I know it's a knockout. Let's see. He's thinking. He's got some attack card. Rage of Ani. What does this do? Deals 5 damage, 5 water damage. If your engaged creature's a chieftain, deal 10 more. Thankfully, he's not a chieftain, but he's still getting the boost from Gronmore and his chieftain. So that brings me all the way to 10. If he was a chieftain, he's dead. And Deluge of Doom. Great card to draw. Uh, don't really need to use it yet. Oh, and I just use it. Okay. Oh, because he has music counters. So again, I'm worried about him using Carnivore's Keening. So I'm trying to force that out. He either has to heal here or Gronmore's dead. Because I'm about to do, let's see, 40 damage. So he has to heal or it's an exact KO. And there we go. So that went through. Now I'm doing Song of Symmetry using my last music counter Elixir, so I cannot activate Hive if I need it next turn, which I would have, as you'll see with the next little match. So I'm thinking, okay, I'm at least going to make him waste the Carnivore's Keening. He doesn't use it. Spoiler alert, he never had Carnivore's Keening. So all my fears of that being pulled out, it was unfounded. So now I'm reading what his fluid morpher does. I'm gonna have to learn how to pronounce that. Um, so he can throw damage back at you. He, I believe, can do spend one music to deal 10 damage to you, and I believe when he's engaged, and I believe his 4 music counters is it he doesn't have to be engaged. It can be any creature. So the ability to hopefully bounce 10 damage back at you every time you try to fight him. Pretty good little combo. I like the fluid morphers. I know a lot of people say that's kind of when chaotic kind of alienated a lot of people. That was kind of my this is a TCG. I was into chaotic ever since Dawn of Param, but I didn't get into the playing aspect probably till the Marillion invasion. And now we have is that Dranicus Threshold? That's not Dranicus Threshold. What am I saying? What location is that? But yeah, now I'm thinking, who's he going to attack? Surely he's going to attack one of my Earbeaks. Stronghold Morn. I don't know why I call it Dranicus Threshold. So my goal is to go after his chieftain. If I get rid of his chieftain, then I get rid of some of the guaranteed damage he stacks up with me. And I'm thinking he's going to go after one of my Earbeaks, which concerns me because if he goes, Lore's pretty much done, Necrabe is pretty much done, but my Elixia, I still need for her to be able to activate Hive. Airbeak gains 10 energy with Hive, which is important. It's always good to gain energy. And Draz gains Outperform 5 Courage. And Outperform, if I win stats, challenges, he'll deal 5 extra damage, which I believe only comes up with 2 of my cards in this deck, that being Rust Toxic and the other being Inline Tenacity. So I'm thinking what he's going to do, looking at his other cards, and surprised when he goes after Draz with his Chieftain. This is a pretty big, risky play, in my opinion. His Chieftain deals extra damage for all of his team. But again, this is his location, and he is going to get initiative because he has 5 more speed. One of my few problems with Danians, they are slow as molasses. They cannot enter that ring any faster. But I guess, when they don't have wings and are relying on their 4 little legs, makes sense. So here he's going to get 20 extra energy because of his back Marillion, a really good support card. He's also Torrent Creep, which will give him Water 5. And I cannot activate Hive, so my battle gear is useless right now, which sucks. I will definitely need it in this little battle, as you'll see. So now it's just a slog fest. Neither of us can use music, so it is going to be down to who has the bigger attack and the bigger creature Unga Boonga style. So he draws an attack. Let's see what he does. Deals 35 whole damage to me, and he gets a fluid morpher. There's my Ice Disc, my best attack in the deck. And I have to figure out: am I going to use it? Am I giving up? And looks like Shadow Strike to do 10 damage. I'm going to keep Ice Disc because Draz is not going to win this fight. If I can't heal and I'm already knocked to 25, I'm not going to waste my Ice Disc on a fight I know I'm not winning when I can use it when I get initiative to start out the gate with some heavy damage, or when I definitely need it. And there's Ghost Gouge, and there you go. And 2 attacks, Draz is done, and his risk pays off. He got rid of one of my bigger fighters with his chieftain. So now it brings me with a decision. Do I go after his chieftain, or do I go after his, his muge, essentially? And there's two arguments. One is his chieftain deals the 5 extra damage each time, which definitely stacks up. Or, which what I was thinking during the match, if I get rid of his muge, I definitely get rid of Carnivore's Keening or other great generic mugics. On the plus side, I have my Ice Disc, which is my strongest attack card, and with Airbeak does 40 damage. So I know I'm at least doing 40 damage, and because Draz was defeated, Lexia gained a Mugic counter. Whenever an infected creature or a Mandiblore goes to the discard, she gains a Mugic counter and can activate Hive for 1 Mugic. So Earbeak is going to gain 10 energy in a fight if I choose to, and now I have to worry about is Grandmore going to my back lines. You can go for Necrabe or Lore, but because Alexia is right there, these two creatures gain Defender for each other. So if Necrabe got targeted, Lore would sadly defend him in a very, very quick battle, probably. So now it's the Hive Gallery. I will get initiative because of Earth. If it was another Mount Pillar or any of my other Wisdom initiative, I know he would mainly get it. So I'm trying to decide what to go for, and I'm deciding to go after his Fluid Morpher. That way, I can definitely get rid of his ability to heal, to do damage with Mugic. If you could eliminate your opponent's Mugic abilities, I think that's worth a little bit more than 5 extra damage. Mugic can change the tide of the game instantly. Think of all the times you've lost to a Melody of Mirage or your back row decimated by Cannon of Casualties. To be able to instantly get rid of that, I say it's worth it for the most part. There would have to be some very uh, interesting guidelines to why wouldn't. So let's see. He's at 75 health. That's a lot. I don't really want to use Hive here, because if I use Hive here, I won't have it for the next fight. So out the gate, I am going to use Ice Disc. This will do 40 damage. It normally does 10 natural, 10 earth, 10 water, but my Airbeak has water 5 by himself, and with his battle gear gives him another water 5, which puts him up to water 10. So and he's going to use his effect to throw a couple damage at me. I'm going to activate Hive because I cannot really afford to lose this fight. So he activated twice, so I took 20 damage. There's Inline Tenacity that will deal a 20 damage. And this is one of the reasons I took it out. It only does 20, which is good, but when I can use 1 cost water attacks that get bumped up tremendously because of Airbeak, I would rather have that than just a somewhat strong Earth card. So he's at 10 health. So I could do 20 damage with the Conquistant Swirl or 5 damage with Gear Grind. But the thing with Gear Grind is it flips down battle gear. So I noticed that his battle gear gives him 5 extra health. So really, Gear Grind would do 10 damage, and I could keep the 20 damage Linguistic Squirrel. And that is what I do. So I'm checking the logs again, checking, being real careful, and there's Gear Grind. He can't do any. He could heal, which is the only thing I'm worried about, and the only reason I hesitated, because if he heals, Gear Grind's not gonna kill him, and he could knock me out next turn, and I can't. I could not afford to lose it. And there we go. I won it. There goes his entire Mugic ability, and now I'm thinking I'm doing okay. This guy was really fun to play against. He thought he was gonna go down really quick when I destroyed his first 2 creatures. I texted "Nah, man, you got Grandmore. He's like one of the, he's a great card. Don't give it up." And he played it through. I'm glad he did. This became a really great match to play. And he moves his chieftain and then he gives it back to me. I think he should have attacked my Airbeak. I don't know if I who knows what happened. Um, who knows? So now I'm thinking, do I go after his chieftain or do I go after his element proof? Um, in hindsight, maybe I should have gone after his element proof. If you play against something and they have element proof, they gain 10 energy if they go against that said element. So he's gaining 20 energy each time I, play against one of his creatures. So I think I most definitely should have won against him, because the difference is he would have to play 4 attacks to get the equivalent of damage that he'd need to do, whereas he just gets that 20 health automatically from that Marillion. So definitely always double check what your priorities are. And here again, I'm thinking not a great attack card. So Quiescent Swirl does 20, but it gives up water. I have Gear Grind and I have Burning Rain. Burning Rain can go up to 10, but it cannot do any more damage past 10. It has a rule on the card. So now I have Linquistent Sword and Gear Grind. I get Purifying Mud. Great card. It heals me and does good chunk of damage, and I know unless he, there we go. I get it. That's the good thing when they have no way to do music. It's an easy way to just kind of knock him out. You don't have to be fearful of, oh, what if he has a Song of Resurgence? What if a Carnivore's Keening? Carnivore Keening sucks to play against when you think you're about to knock out a guy, and nope, turns out 30 health, you're screwed. And it's like, crap. Tune my Earbeak up, because if he attacks my Necrabe, Earbeak can use Defender. Now, the reason I did that is one of my locations is it can bring back Chieftains. And I can't have Necrabe die, because if Necrabe dies, he brings back Chieftains. The reason is Necrabe negates revivals automatically. It's not a cost, it's just a passive ability. So now he's going after my Earbeak. Or I believe he went after my Necrabe and Defender. So he's got the open door of the deep mines. He gets initiative, and he's got 80 health. That's crazy. So I took 20 there. I used Rest Toxic. Because we have the same courage, I don't get the challenge, which sucks. I think I thought I would. If I used Riptide first, I would have, because Riptide lowers courage. So I'm kind of, yep, I knew I was going to lose the fight. Use Gear Grind there. Once everyone's out of music, it's a quick game. Like, it is just throwing attacks after each other. There's no way of healing. And it comes down to who draws the best attack card first. So there we go. Here's my location I was just talking about. He could bring back a chieftain, and I have lost a game because of this, because 2 locations in a row was this one, and he brought back his chieftain 2 more times. So in a one game, I coded 6 creatures, but he still won, because another Grandmore was able to knock all my guys out, because he hits like a truckload. But no, so I'm reading it. My creatures will get another water 5. So Earbeak's going to have a water 15. So it makes me wish that he was closer to Grandmore, because my cards are pretty good. Riptide would do what? 25 damage. Torrent of Water would do 25 damage. That's a lot. So now I'm going after his Marillion that gives his guys waterproof. And here, let's see, I'm using Burning Tide for 10. Don't really know why I just did that. That's kind of a really weak card. So here he doesn't understand why he could have brought a chieftain back, but it didn't. And explain how Necrabe works. I like Necrabe. I don't use him anymore because I don't use Draz. Now I'm using another Uholden. So now I'm thinking about what's going to happen. He's got 2 creatures left. I have 4. But really, if I lose Earbeak, I kind of lose the game. Alexia, the Danian Queen, she's won 2 or 3 games for me when she's been my last creature, but she is not super strong. Her stats are pretty mediocre for being a Danian Queen. He uses his own Burning Rain. I'm using a Torrent of Water. That'll do 25 damage. Really good card right there. Really helped. Quick Exit is going to do 10. Look, we have, Riptide or Torrent of Water. So Torrent of Water do another 20, or another, I believe 25. He's got 15 left. I wish Shadow Strike could end it here, but that would only deal 10. But Riptide can win it. So unless he does 35 damage, I knock out this guy with the next turn, guaranteed. He can't heal. His battle gear doesn't do anything to heal, so it's an instant knockout. I just have to, hopefully he doesn't do 25 or 35, which some people are going to be like, there's no way. But some cards, whew, I got one creature knocked out in one attack. It was a Como. Como wrecks Danian cards out. I'm reading what it gives him energy. So if I got a gear grind, that would have done it. I'm checking my attack logs to see if both my gear grinds in it. I only have two, so I could have drew it. And there's a Deluge of Doom, a great card to draw. I have to use Riptide here. Um, I don't want to risk losing Airbeak. So now I'm going to move all my creatures down so that he has to come to me. So he either has to go into the space next to Alexia or next to Necrabe. I can't attack him with Earbeak, which sucks. So, it's over with Library. It's a great location to waste out of him because that helps him do extra wisdom attacks. And so he moves next to my Danian Queen. Now it's Mount Pillar. This would have been great if Airbeak could have done it because of Hive. And here I go for it. The Danian Queen herself is going to get into the fray. Because I cannot really afford to lose Necrabe. Because again, his chieftain could come back, and that could be real. I've lost a match because of that. So he's going to get initiative because of his supercharged. He would have got it anyway. Let's see what happens. So Ghost Gorge, 15 damage. Here I'm going to do Deluge of Doom. That is 20 damage, and he's going to lose 25 courage. So he cannot get courage challenges on me. None of his cards even had courage challenges. Sleep Sting. This will hurt. That's a really strong attack. Let's see what I do. Linquisent Swirl. Deal 10 damage. Now, always read what your cards do. Liquidity Swirl does 10 damage. There's Purifying Mud. I maybe could have won if I hadn't used Linquistent Swirl and done maybe a Gear Grind instead. Because you're about to see. So he's at 25 energy left. This is very, very, very important. Tidal Surge does 0 damage to me. So maybe he had horrible attack cards. Maybe didn't, maybe did. That's besides the point. Next, I get the best card in my deck, Ice Disc. If I still had the water element, I would have just won this match right then and there. And that's why I kind of pause on the screen. I make sure to read Ice Disc and look at the board because I could have just wasted it. Instead, I choose to throw out Shadow Strike. We watching these videos, you get to see what kind of misplays I do, and I even shock myself sometimes, like, oh, why did I do that? But he uses a Piercing Brilliance, a really, really strong card for him, which I'm glad I get out of him. I moved my Necrabe up in a gamble. I'm trying to tempt him to go into Necrabe so I can get him with my Earbic the next turn. And there's the Riverlands, the Marillion version, so it makes me waste a music counter, but at this point, none of us can use music. All I have is two Dispel musics, and I'm checking my attack log, or not the attack log, the attack discard to see what I have, and wondering what he's going to do. He can either move into the space between Necrabe or Lore, and there he goes. He goes into Necrabe. I know that Grandmore is going to win. I don't even waste sacrificing my battle gear. It serves no purpose whatsoever. This match is to see what attack cards I can get. And there's a Deluge of Doom. So, I have essentially won the game at this point. I have enough damage on the board. My next attack, but I still have to be really careful because he could do more damage to me. He could bring back a chieftain because Necrabe dies, and if Necrabe dies and the next location is Mount Pillar Reservoir, it brings back his chieftain. So this is where the anxiety starts to raise, and there we go. It is the Von Blutz Banquet. I was really worried to be the Mount Pillar, and this is, I know I win because I get initiative, so I attack first. So even if he did his strongest attack, which I think would deal like 30 damage with Mind Strike, I know I win because I have Deluge of Doom in hand. Here, I'm telling him, GG, always remember to tell your opponent GG after a match. It's what makes the world go round, But always fun to play chaotic. Always fun for my Danian deck to reign over some little bitty Marillion squishy deck. So definitely check out the other battle reports. We'll try to do 2 of these every week. Send them to me. Somehow we'll figure that out if you want me to, commentary on your probably amazing matches in the drones. So there we go. And remember,